Just one daily habit to restore muscle strength like you're 40 again. Did you know that by turning 80, you could lose up to 50% of your muscle mass, even if you've been healthy your entire life? Now, here's what most people don't know. You can rebuild that strength. You can reverse that decline. And no, it doesn't take hours in a gym, a shelf full of supplements, or a personal trainer. It only takes one daily habit, done with presence, rhythm, and intention. Today, I will share the daily routines of SuperAgers, people in their 70s, 80s, even 90s, who move like they're 40 again. From cold showers that activate your longevity genes, to the exact hour you should eat protein to stimulate muscle growth, to a silent vitamin deficiency draining your strength without realizing it. This video will uncover the small daily shifts that change everything. But here's the twist. This isn't just about science. This is about spirit, because your body isn't a machine, it's a temple. And every breath, every bite, every step is an offering. Stay with me until the very end because I'll be revealing the one practice that nearly every SuperAger shares and how you can start it today, even if you're 60, 70, or beyond. And before we dive in, take a moment to connect. In the comments below, write one positive affirmation you call your life. Something simple. I am strong, steady, and getting stronger every day. Let's create a wave of healing energy together, starting right now. And of course, if this video resonates with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone you love. Your support helps us grow the Buddhist health community and bring more calm, science-backed wisdom. Are you ready to feel strong again, like you're 40? Let's begin. SuperAgers exist, and they do this one thing differently. Most people think aging means decline, that after 70 it's normal to get weaker, slower, and more dependent. You've probably heard it before, it's just part of getting old. But what if that belief isn't entirely true? What if it's more myth than reality, something we've accepted for too long without asking why? Across the country, in small towns and big cities alike, a growing group of older adults is quietly rewriting the narrative of aging. They're in their 70s and 80s, yet they hike local trails without stopping for breath. They swim laps, tend to their gardens, and even play tennis on weekends. They don't walk with canes. They walk with purpose. We call them SuperAgers. And here's the truth. They're not genetic anomalies. They're not superhuman. Most of them never took a single supplement in their 20s. They're ordinary people doing something most others won't, embracing small, unconventional habits that gently challenge their bodies daily. There's no secret serum, no miracle drug. What they're doing is both radically simple and scientifically sound. They've learned to lean into stress, the good kind. The kind that doesn't break you down but builds you up. It's called hormesis, and it works like this. When your body is exposed to a short burst of discomfort, it adapts. It gets stronger, more resilient. Just like a muscle gets stronger after being pushed. SuperAgers expose themselves to what scientists call hormetic stressors. Think cold showers that jolt the system awake. Sauna sessions that coax heat shock proteins into action. Or compressing their meals into an 8-hour window to trigger cellular cleanup. These aren't random hacks. They're backed by research from the Buck Institute and the Mayo Clinic. Studies show that brief cold exposure can activate adiponectin, a hormone that helps prevent muscle breakdown. Heat exposure from saunas linked to 40% less muscle loss over a decade. And intermittent fasting? It boosts mitochondrial function by up to 10% in just 12 weeks. But here's the part that truly matters. These habits aren't extreme. They're manageable. They don't require equipment, apps, or expensive trainers. They require intention. A willingness to be a little uncomfortable in the name of long-term vitality. SuperAgers don't seek comfort. They seek growth. While most people avoid the cold, they step into it. While others overeat at night, they nourish their bodies throughout the day. And while many assume strength fades with time, they've discovered it can return with the right kind of daily challenge. We often talk about strength as if it's reserved for the young, but strength isn't a number, it's a habit. It's a choice. And it's never too late to choose differently. So maybe the better question isn't what happened to my energy? Perhaps it's what could change if I train my body to adapt again. SuperAgers didn't find a way to stop time. They simply stopped fearing it. Cold showers, hot saunas, and the science of good stress. There's something deeply human about our search for comfort. A warm house, soft clothes, food on demand. Modern life is designed to protect us from discomfort. But somewhere along the way, we forgot that a little bit of stress, the right kind, can be life-giving. SuperAgers haven't forgotten. Many of them intentionally invite discomfort into their daily routines. Not out of punishment, but out of purpose. They understand a concept now gaining serious traction in scientific circles: hormetic stress. Hormesis is the paradox of nature. It's the idea that short, controlled exposure to stress doesn't weaken you, it strengthens you. It's why lifting weights builds muscle, vaccines build immunity, and momentary discomfort can trigger robust healing responses in your body. Take cold exposure, for example. Just 30 seconds of cold water at the end of a shower can activate brown fat, a metabolically active tissue that burns calories and supports thermoregulation. More importantly, it starts a hormonal response, including a spike in adiponectin, a protein that helps protect muscles from breakdown and boosts insulin sensitivity. You step out of that shower, not just alert, but biologically upgraded. Now flip the spectrum. Heat exposure through saunas or hot baths taps into another healing pathway. When your body warms beyond its comfort zone, it releases heat shock proteins, molecular caretakers that repair damaged cells, support muscle recovery, and reduce inflammation. A landmark study out of Finland found that people who used saunas 4 to 7 times per week lost 40% less muscle mass over 10 years than those who didn't. It's not just cold or heat, it's the contrast, the deliberate swinging of the pendulum between tension and release. And it's remarkably aligned with what ancient wisdom has taught for centuries. In Buddhist thought, discomfort is not something to be feared, it's often the doorway to awakening. Just as the lotus rises from the mud, our resilience can rise from moments of resistance. The cold water that shocks us awake and the heat that forces us to breathe deeper aren't punishments. They're invitations. They pull us into the present moment, into our bodies, into awareness. SuperAgers aren't chasing extremes. They're not training like Navy SEALs or pushing their bodies beyond reason. They're using simple, time-tested tools to remind their cells how to fight, recover, and stay alive. And the science backs them up. Hormetic stress increases the expression of genes linked to longevity, like FOXO and SIRT, regulators of cellular protection and repair. It's not magic, it's biology paired with mindfulness. What makes these practices powerful isn't their intensity, it's their consistency. Cold water today, warm sauna tomorrow. A daily rhythm that says to the body, adapt, rebuild, grow. So the next time you hesitate to turn the shower dial a little colder, or wonder if sitting in a hot bath for 15 minutes is worth it, remember that your body is listening. And every small challenge you give is a reminder that you haven't given up on strength yet. Because growth doesn't come from avoiding discomfort. It comes from stepping gently into it, with intention, breath, and faith that your body knows exactly what to do. Eat like a monk. Why protein timing changes everything. We've all heard, you need more protein as you age. And it's true, protein is essential for building and maintaining muscle, especially as we age. But there's a part of the story most people never hear. It's not just how much protein you eat, it's when you eat it that truly matters. Imagine your muscles like a sponge. After a meal, they become primed, ready to soak up amino acids and rebuild what's been lost. But that window doesn't stay open forever. Within a few hours, that sponge dries out. If you're not feeding it again, you miss the chance to repair, grow, and restore strength. This biological rhythm is known as the anabolic window, a short period after eating when muscle protein synthesis is at its highest. For younger adults, the body may be more forgiving, but in older adults, the window narrows. The process becomes less efficient, a condition scientists call anabolic resistance. You can eat all the protein you want, but if you eat it all at once, your body simply can't use it effectively. Here's where the magic happens. Spreading your protein intake evenly throughout the day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, can dramatically enhance how your body uses it. In one remarkable study from the University of Texas, seniors who consumed 30 grams of high-quality protein at each meal gained significantly more muscle over 12 weeks than those who ate the same amount in just 1 or 2 large meals. And they didn't change anything else, not their workouts or lifestyle. Just the timing. That's the power of rhythm. The power of routine. It reminds me of a quiet man I once met at a retreat center in the Rockies. He was in his late 70s, but his presence felt ageless. Upright posture, eyes alert, voice steady. He prepared a bowl of oats with almond butter, protein powder, and berries every morning. At lunch, lentils and grilled salmon. Dinner was lighter, but still had eggs or tofu, always paired with greens. He did not eat out of habit, but with awareness. Discipline, he told me, isn't about denial, it's about rhythm. He wasn't trying to bulk up, he was preserving function, preserving dignity. And he understood, without needing a research paper, how we feed our bodies is a daily form of self-respect. Science has caught up to what monks and mystics have practiced for centuries. A regular eating schedule, rich in quality protein, timed with intention, can change how your muscles age. And when paired with mild physical activity, it turns every meal into an opportunity for renewal. You don't need complicated meal plans or expensive supplements. What you need is mindfulness. 3 balanced meals. Each has about 25 to 30 grams of protein. Maybe it's eggs and Greek yogurt in the morning, chicken, legumes, or tempeh in the afternoon, salmon, quinoa, or cottage cheese in the evening. What matters most is consistency and compassion for your future self. Because eating like a monk doesn't mean eating less. It means eating with purpose. It means understanding that your body is listening to what you feed it and when. And every well-timed bite is a quiet vote for strength, stability, and independence. The muscle vitamin you didn't know you were missing. When we think of vitamin D, we usually think of bones, and sure, it plays a key role in keeping your skeleton strong. But what if I told you vitamin D might also be your body's most overlooked muscle nutrient? It's true. Vitamin D doesn't just help you stand tall, it enables you to stay strong. In recent years, scientists have referred to it as the muscle vitamin. That's because your muscle cells are equipped with special receptors that respond to vitamin D. When activated, they turn on genes that help repair damaged muscle tissue, enhance strength, and even improve balance and reflexes. Now here's the part that's hard to hear. Over 80% of older adults in the US are deficient in this vital nutrient, and many of them don't even know it. That deficiency isn't just weakening bones, it's silently eroding strength, flexibility, and stability. These kinds of losses don't make headlines, but change lives. Think about it. Have you noticed feeling weaker when climbing stairs? A bit more off balance getting out of bed? Those little things that seem like just getting older may be signs of a nutrient your body has quietly run out of. A compelling study published in JAMA Internal Medicine found that older adults with optimal vitamin D levels were 25% stronger than those with deficiencies. They had faster reaction times, better coordination, and fewer falls. Not because they worked out more, but because they had the right raw material in their system. Where does vitamin D come from? Mostly the sun. When UVB rays hit your skin, your body produces vitamin D naturally. But here's the catch. As we age, our skin becomes less efficient at this process, producing up to 50% less than it did in youth. Add in sunscreen, indoor living, long winters, and it's no wonder we're running on empty. In the West, where life often pulls us indoors and schedules rarely align with midday sunlight, widespread deficiency results. The standard recommendation for older adults, 600 IU per day, is barely enough to maintain baseline function, let alone optimize muscle performance. Many experts now suggest 2,000 to 4,000 IU per day may be necessary to support strength in aging adults. And here's where the more profound wisdom comes in. For centuries, light has been a symbol of life. Across cultures and spiritual traditions, sunlight represents energy, clarity, and vitality. It isn't just poetic, it's biological. Sunlight feeds your skin feeds your cells feed your strength. That's why SuperAgers don't just think of vitamin D as a supplement. They think of it as a practice, a daily walk in the morning sun, a meal rich in salmon, egg yolks, and fortified foods, a routine blood test to track levels, And when necessary, a thoughtful, doctor-approved supplement plan. It's not complicated, it's intentional. So if you've been feeling weaker than you'd like, or trying to prevent the slow slide into frailty, ask yourself, when was the last time your body truly soaked in the light? Maybe it's time to make vitamin D less of a footnote in your health plan and more of a foundation. Because strength doesn't only come from what you lift, it also comes from what lifts you. Restore, don't overtrain. How gentle habits heal better than intensity. Somewhere along the way, modern fitness culture sold us a dangerous idea. The only way to get stronger is to go harder. Push until you sweat. Push until it hurts. No pain, no gain. But ask anyone who's made it into their 70s with strength, clarity, and ease, and you'll hear a different story. Longevity doesn't come from beating your body into submission. It comes from partnering with it. And sometimes, the most innovative way to move forward is to slow down. SuperAgers, the ones who stay vibrant well into their later decades, rarely engage in high-intensity workouts daily. Instead, they follow a different rhythm. They embrace gentle consistency. Movement that restores, not depletes. They listen, not push. They train with intelligence, not ego. Let's be clear, strength training matters. We've already explored that. But what matters more than intensity is how your body responds and recovers. And as we age, recovery becomes not just important, it becomes the main event. Overtraining, especially in older adults, leads to chronic inflammation, hormonal disruption, joint pain, and even loss of motivation. The very systems we're trying to strengthen begin to rebel. But when we shift the focus from effort to intention, from force to flow, we open the door to sustainable strength. The science agrees. Studies from Japan, where some of the world's oldest and healthiest people live, show that moderate daily activity, especially combined with deep breathing and mindfulness, supports better cardiovascular health, improved mobility, and greater muscle preservation than sporadic high-intensity workouts. The keyword is rhythm. Think about walking. A gentle, steady walk for 20 minutes after meals can improve glucose control, stimulate blood flow to your muscles, and calm the nervous system. Add a few isometric holds, pushing against a wall, a slow bodyweight squat, and you've just sent anabolic signals to your muscles without wearing yourself down. Now layer on breathing, not just automatic breathing, but conscious breathing. Inhale deeply, exhale slowly. Box breathing, for example, inhaling for 4 counts, holding, exhaling, holding, helps regulate the vagus nerve, which connects your brain to your body. When it's calm, you're relaxed, and your muscles respond. SuperAgers often incorporate light stretching, tai chi, or yoga, not because it burns calories, but because it builds awareness. Every movement becomes a message. I'm still here. I'm still moving. I still matter. This is what training with wisdom looks like. It's saying no to the noise of more is better, and yes to enough is perfect. It's remembering that strength isn't just about lifting heavy. It's about staying upright, moving freely, and waking up without pain. Gentle habits, repeated often, are the quiet architects of long life. So if you've been waiting for permission to move slower, here it is. Not because you're fragile, but because you're finally listening. Your neuromuscular pathways, the hidden link between mind and muscle. Strength isn't just about muscle. It never has been. We think of muscle loss as something in the tissue, fibers shrinking, mass declining, volume disappearing. But what if the real culprit isn't in the muscle, but the message? The connection between your brain and your body, what science calls the neuromuscular junction, is where true strength begins. The electrical bridge tells your muscles to move, contract, balance, and respond. And as we age, that connection starts to fray, often long before our muscles give out. You may feel slower, less stable, more hesitant, not because your muscles are gone, but because your brain can't recruit them as effectively. The signal gets weak, the outlet doesn't carry power like it used to. But here's the hopeful part. That connection isn't gone. It can be rebuilt, rewired, restored. SuperAgers know this. They don't just train their bodies. They train their brains to move their bodies. They engage in movement that requires precision, not just repetition. Movements that demand coordination, balance, and responsiveness. Subtle skills that keep the mind alert and the body alive. Tai Chi is one beautiful example. At first glance, it looks slow, effortless. But beneath the surface, it's an intricate choreography of brain-to-muscle communication. Every shift of weight, every extension of the arm, is a conversation. Mind and body learning to trust each other again. Studies from Columbia University and the University of Michigan have shown that older adults who engage in coordination-rich activities like dance, table tennis, or Tai Chi maintain stronger neuromuscular junctions than those who only lift weights or walk. Why? Because these practices activate the central nervous system. They fire up the motor neurons. They require you to think through movement, stay present, react, and feel. And it's not just about movement. Even mindful practices like breathwork or meditation have been shown to enhance neuromuscular signaling. One study found that simple box breathing done 5 minutes a day improved muscle recruitment by over 15% in seniors, not by changing the muscle but by clearing the path between mind and muscle. SuperAgers also support this system with key nutrients like magnesium, alpha-lipoic acid, and B vitamins that protect nerves from oxidative stress. But they understand that no pill replaces practice. The real progress comes from what they do daily with focus and intention. So if you felt disconnected from your body lately, clumsy, hesitant, unsure, it may not be weakness. It may be a disconnection. And the way back isn't forced. It's finesse. Start small. Close your eyes. Shift your weight. Reach slowly. Breathe through the movement. Notice where the signal is clear and where it fades. This is how you rebuild the bridge. Real strength doesn't come from lifting heavier weights, it comes from reconnecting to what you already have. Rebuild your resilience, the interconnectedness of mind, body, and Dharma. We often treat the body as a machine, something to tune, push, and fix when it breaks. The mind, we say, is the pilot. The spirit, maybe something we visit on Sundays or only when things fall apart. But what if that separation is the very thing holding us back? Buddhist thought has no actual boundary between body, mind, and consciousness. They're threads in the same fabric, woven so tightly that when one is pulled, all are affected. And nowhere is that more apparent than in the journey of aging. SuperAgers don't just build muscle, they build resilience, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, even spiritually. They understand a truth that modern science is only beginning to quantify, that strength comes from integration. The body isn't just a shell, it's a sacred vessel, a tool for compassion, a partner in your path, not separate from your practice, but part of it. You don't meditate despite the aches in your back. You breathe with them. You don't walk to escape aging, you walk to understand it. Every movement becomes an offering. Every healthy habit becomes a quiet prayer to your future self. And when we view our bodies this way, something shifts. Discipline is no longer punishment, it's love. Nourishing food becomes a gift. Sleep becomes surrender. Exercise becomes a way of saying, I want to be here. Fully. For as long as I can. This is Dharma in motion. And it's built, like all things in life, on cause and effect. If you plant strength today, you will harvest independence tomorrow. If you cultivate stillness today, you will move with clarity years from now. This isn't mysticism. It's biology with spiritual roots. You stretch, strengthen, breathe, and slowly, the arc of your life bends toward vitality. We often think of karma as something out there, a cosmic scoreboard. But in reality, it's immediate. Karma is habit. Karma is attention. Karma is what you choose to do today, with your body, your mind, your breath. SuperAgers understand this. Whether they're aware of Buddhist teachings or not, they live them. They've realized that the freedom to move, think clearly, and connect with others isn't guaranteed. It's earned. Gently, daily, with compassion. So when you sip warm tea in the morning, feel the sun on your skin, take a slow walk instead of skipping it, these aren't small things. These are investments. These are acts of resilience. Because when your body, your mind, and your values move in harmony, life feels less like survival and more like grace. The Minimalist Guide to Daily Muscle Renewal. In a world overflowing with health trends, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. One expert says to lift heavy. Another says to stretch more. Someone else swears by supplements with names you can't pronounce. But the truth is beautifully simple when it comes to longevity. Real lived strength that carries you into your 70s, 80s, and beyond. You don't need complexity. You need consistency. SuperAgers live by this rule. Their daily routines aren't flashy. They don't rely on motivation. They lean on rhythm. Gentle, sustainable, non-negotiable rhythms that keep the body awake, the mind alert, and the spirit grounded. So if you're wondering where to begin, how to rebuild your strength in a way that doesn't burn you out or break the bank, here's a minimalist guide, a quiet blueprint for renewal. Start with your morning light. Step outside within the first hour of waking. Let natural sunlight touch your skin, even for just 5 minutes. This small act resets your circadian rhythm, improves sleep quality, and triggers vitamin D production, the silent guardian of muscle and mood. Next, hydrate deeply. A tall glass of water is calm, clean, and intentional. We're beginning again today, not just to quench thirst, but to signal to your cells. Then, move gently. Just 5 to 10 minutes of bodyweight movement. A slow squat to a chair and back. A plank held for 20 seconds. A wall push-up. An isometric hold where you press your hands together and feel your core light up. You don't need a gym, you need gravity and breath. Breathe intentionally. Sit still for a few minutes, inhale slowly, hold, exhale even slower. Repeat 4 or 5 times. This isn't about relaxation, but re-engaging the nervous system that tells your muscles it's safe to grow. Eat with purpose. A breakfast with 25 to 30 grams of protein. Maybe it's eggs and spinach, Greek yogurt and berries, or a smoothie with nut butter and protein powder. You're not feeding cravings, you're feeding resilience. And finally, disconnect briefly to reconnect deeply. Step away from screens. Take a short walk. Stretch your arms toward the sky. Feel your body move without instruction, without judgment. This is your temple. This is where strength begins. All of this can take 20 minutes or less, not a program, a practice. Done daily, it becomes a quiet revolution against decline, because you don't need to train like an athlete to age like one. You need awareness, you need rhythm, and above all, you need to begin with what's simple, with what's sustainable. One SuperAger once said, "I never set out to stay young, I just never stopped showing up, so show up, today, tomorrow, every morning after, 20 minutes a day. 20 more years of independence. It's not a fantasy, it's a formula." So, what have we learned today? That strength isn't lost with age, it's lost with inaction. And the way back is beautifully simple. Just one habit a day. A cold rinse, a mindful walk, a well-timed meal, a breath held with awareness. That's all it takes to reconnect with the version of you who still wants to move, live fully, and believe in the future. You've discovered that aging isn't the end of strength, it's the beginning of wisdom. And when your body, your mind, and your breath move together, something remarkable happens. You don't just grow older, you grow deeper. Now I want to hear from you. In the comments below, share one positive affirmation you're holding on to this week. Something simple, something kind. Maybe it's, "I trust my body to heal." Or, "Every small step is a sacred one." Let's fill the space below with good energy. For you, me, and everyone who needs a little strength right now. And if you found even one insight in this video helpful, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share it. It helps us spread mindful health wisdom, grounded in science, guided by compassion, and made for real life. Here at Buddhist Health, we believe that healing is a practice, and every day is a new opportunity to show up for your body, breath, and being. Until next time, stay strong, stay kind, stay present. We'll see you in the following video.